Hello and welcome to YQ Academy Tutorials. My name is Priyanka and topic for today's discussion is value versus reference in JavaScript. So if I write like this const a equals 1. So here this a is variable and this 1 is value. And in JavaScript this value can either be primitive or object. In primitive, we have number, boolean, string, null, undefined. These are all value type. And if we talk about objects, so in which we have object, array, function, regex, these are all a reference type. We have already discussed primitive and objects in Java. Let me take an example. Let's write const equals to 1 and let's take another variable constant keyword, and here variable name I'm taking as the b, and I'm declaring value or initializing the value of this variable b to 1. Now let's write console.log and let's see the output of a double equals b. And in the terminal window, let's write node and then the file name, that is value ref dot js to see the output. So this is our file name, and here in terminal window, click enter, and here we can see the output as true. But what if I write like this const uh, sorry it's const the keyword, and I'm taking variable name as c, and here suppose I'm writing 1, and here let's write const d, and let's declare an variable and a value to it. Let's write 1 over here, and again let's check what will I get if I write c double equals d. To see the output, let's write node and then the file name .js, and on clicking the enter button we can see output as false. So this a and b are primitive, and this c and d are not primitive. These are object, means here these are array. In JavaScript, primitive types are passed around as value, and on the other side the objects are reference. Now let's try to understand the difference between value versus reference. So for that, let's take an example. So I'm declaring a variable x and I'm initializing its value to 12. Now let's take another variable as y, and let's try to place value of x in this variable y. Okay, now let's try to change the value of y. So y equals to 15. So I'm changing the value of y over here. Now let's see the output actually. So for that, let's write console.log and then x value is okay. Um, and let's write x over here to see the value of x. Similarly, let's write console.log value of y over here. Now let's write node file name.js, and we can see the output as x value is 12 and the value of y is 15. Y value changes. Why? Because these are independent. Now let's take example like where obj. Okay. Now let's give property and then the value in it. Let's say name as Harry, and take another property as ID, and let's write 1 over here. Now let's write there obj2, and over here we are placing object 1. Now let's log this. Let's see the output. So here, this obj1 is name, properties are name and id1, and here we are initializing obj2 value as obj1 value. Now let's change the value of obj2. Let's change one property name, and here let's write name as Ron. Now let's see the output. So here, as you can see, it changes value of obj2 as well as obj. So we can say that in JavaScript, primitive types are passed around as value, meaning that each time a value is assigned, a copy of that value is created. On the other hand, objects including plain object, array, function are referenced. If you modify the object, then all the variables that reference that object are going to see the changes. So this is all about value and reference in JavaScript.